Okay, so I've been sitting here thinking about how in between the trims I'm doing, I want to show you the science behind the trim so that you truly understand the horse's foot. Now, a couple things I want to do here in this series of videos is, first of all, I want to show you what the truth is, or at least give you a foundation of it, you know, and then I believe once you have a foundation, you're going to discover things that I don't know, and you're going to share things back with me that's going to increase my learning, my understanding. See, that's the way it should be. So, you know, I want to give you a foundational understanding of this foot, and the foundation begins with the sole. Right here, with the sole. That's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. Okay, so this is our foundation. So, you know, the problem we've had is that somewhere along the line, either man did not come to a full knowledge of the sole, or he had it and he lost it. Okay? Because, and so you need to watch, if you haven't already, you need to watch the videos on the true anatomy of the sole. Because they don't teach it. They don't know it, and they don't teach it. So if they don't know the true anatomy of the sole and they don't teach it, then anything they try and do to this foot is going to be tainted in one way or another, because they don't know what they're trying to achieve here. So, you know, as I said, I first found out about it when I was reading Diseases of the Horse's Foot by Henry Carlton Reeks, written in 1906, and in a diagram, number 7, he pointed to something called a toe stay, okay, which he had got from George Fleming, who wrote a book called The Origins, or how did it go? Horseshoes and Horseshoeing. Their Origins, Uses, and Abuses, which is another book that you can also read online. He wrote that in 1886, and many of the things that he said in that book are stuff that barefoot people are saying today, as far as, you know, the horses going without shoes and things like that. I mean, if you read it, some of the stuff he's thinking, you know, this stuff ain't new. There have been men down through the ages who have seen the stuff we're seeing, but, you know, a deaf ear was turned on them by the powers that be, the powers that were in position, you know, the farriers and, you know, all the different people like that. So anyway, so one thing I want to do is show you and prove to you that what I am saying is right about the foundation of this foot. And I also want to, and once you start seeing that, we're also going to go into different things that people teach, and we're going to dispel myths. Not only myths in farrier science, but myths that have developed out of natural barefoot trimming, and, you know, whatever name you want to give it. Okay, many myths have arose in there too. And so we're going to look at some things, and kind of what happens to people is, before they have all the facts, they'll see something and they will make a judgment, and then they'll teach it as fact, when in fact they haven't gotten all the evidence. They haven't examined all the facts concerning a situation. And so then they make a statement, and this becomes what everybody parrots. And so you wind up thinking that a lot of things are the truth when they're not the truth at all. Okay, this little Arab mare that I did in the first videos of the new mapping and the new trimming. And it's been, oh God, a good 8 weeks since I've been here. Because it was so high, I just couldn't hardly trim any horses and couldn't get back to these. I would have liked to done her about 4 or 5 weeks in, but I didn't get a chance to. So anyway, but her dorsal wall has come back. Pick up your foot there, girl. Okay, put it down. Her dorsal wall has come back steeper, except then, because she didn't get trimmed, the toe grew out long. And I'm going to show you what happens when that toe stretches forward. Let's look over here just a second. Get everything where I need it. Okay, pick up your foot, girl. Okay, now first of all, you can see that her heels have not broken off or worn, but they have. The bar has kind of gone out this way and the heel forward a little bit because she didn't get trimmed. She's self-trimmed in the sides, but she hasn't in the toe at all. And due to that, the toe wall getting long has stretched forward. And what you see here is laminar serum that oozes out of the toe that tries to glue the toe together and hold everything together. And this is the stuff, when it's allowed to go and go, you can wind up having a toe like this, and you'll still have a tight white line up here. The stretching is on the interior, not on the exterior. Like a lot of times, you might see a stretched white line here, but more times than not, what happens is the toe stretched forward and keeps a tight white line because of this laminar serum that oozes from the outline, when the white line, whenever the foot is being compromised, whenever the wall is being stretched, and or whenever the sole is compromised in any way. This stuff will ooze into the sole, and because the sole is porous, it's like a laminating material, almost like a glue that oozes in there and just holds everything together and tries to make it stronger so the horse's foot doesn't fall apart. And though, you know, it's a good defense system for the horse, on the other hand, what happens is you wind up developing this big, long, laminar toe. Just a minute here. I'm going to get some gloves on. We're going to cut into that thing so you can see it. Okay. Okay, we're going to cut into that so you can see what it is. Okay, I'll get the camera over here. Let's see. Let's get a close-up on the toe here, if we can. Get this. Okay. See that? That is laminar material. See the color of it? See how yellow it is? It's a little dark in here, but this is not a toe callus. This is the foot's attempt to hold itself together when the toe is stretching out. Okay. And it can get very hard. A lot of times it'll ooze out and it'll be all bubbly looking. You're going to see here how it's yellow, and a lot of times you'll see a little blood in there too. And you'll see how what it does is it'll ooze up and glue itself to the wall that's growing out here. See there? See the color of it? Now I can trim this right down. It actually glues itself to this wall. Very interesting. we want to get down to the toe wall. Man, that stuff, I'll tell you what, it's hard. See how the wall has grown out here? See how that stuff oozed out? It covered over the sole here and covered over the wall here, trying to glue the whole thing together. It's a defense mechanism of the hoof. Now you can see the wall in here. And see how that was glued to the wall? The sole glued itself to the wall. How fascinating is that? Huh? Oh, hold still. It'll glue itself right over sole. Okay, there we go. Let me see. Now I want you to get a good look at this. See, that was covering the sole there. And the sole, the lamina had actually glued the sole to the long toe that had grown out and was stretching forward. Okay, and then it'd just pull that sole right forward with it. Pretty fascinating, huh? Yeah, all right. Okay, so a lot of times what happens is this stuff oozes out onto the sole, binds itself to the wall, oozes out of the white line, onto the sole, onto the wall, glues the whole thing together. People come along, they think it's a toe callus, they're afraid to touch it, and so they leave it. Then the wall grows out, stretches more, adds some more. The toe gains, a lot of times, retained sole, or that retained clump, and people think it's sole or a toe callus, and they actually got a huge long toe growing out there. And what they wind up doing is setting up the horse as the toe slowly gains vertical and then gets pulled out horizontally. They're setting, and meanwhile, people are pretty good at lowering the heels and bringing the heels back, but what you're winding up doing is you're setting up the horse for mechanical laminitis, because you're slowly pulling that toe wall away from its lamina connection. And you don't even know it, because all you're doing is reading what you look to think as sole or a toe callus, which is actually just all that glued stuff that the toe has added to it here to try and keep itself together. So anyway, so now that I've cut that out and the toe has stretched forward, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here. Now you're going to see a tight white line, and yet we have a stretch forward toe. But the stretching is on the inside. Sometimes things don't quite work out right for the foot, and instead you'll see real stretch. See how it's kind of dirty there? You'll see it can get very wide and stretched. Well, it's still wide and stretched, but it's interior, not exterior. Man, I'm gonna finish cutting this and I'll be back. Okay, so what happens is you wind up getting a wedge in the sole as well as a wedge in the dorsal wall. Now, I wish I could have got back sooner because last time we were really able to take this toe back, but we're gonna go ahead and, let's see, my bar should go right to here. Here's my where my central sulcus ends, so my bars end right about here. So I'll take out all this bar. Okay, now, let's see. Okay, here's my apex of the frog. Her frog is not stretched forward. Here's my edge of my coffin bone. Here's where my breakover should be. Now her toe has shortened up since what we did. And I want to line down the center there. What we did last time, if you look at the first videos, I'm going to go ahead and make another line. Okay, here's my breakover line right here. Here's where her sole ends. Here's where it should end. And not only is it longer, but see, now it's added vertical height into the sole here also. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring that toe back with a little bit of a rocker. Let's see here. It's not as long as it was last time. That laminar toe wedge is. I'm also gonna flatten it out there too. I don't want her toe raised. See, because it'll raise your toe. It'll stretch it forward and it'll raise it also. Okay, now I gotta remark that. Ho ho. Ho ho. Ho ho. Ho ho. Hey, 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 girly. Girly, girly, girly. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't move. Okay. Alright. Okay, see, I leveled that up. I can do that. Because I don't want the toe to be raised. Okay, don't knock my camera over, girl. Just kind of lightly roll that right there. Just round it off a little. There we go. Now our little foot is round again. You see, we got some stretching going on in here. Okay, need a break. Okay, see this crack here? Okay, I've been working on this bar. It was grown up like this. Looks like one big bar, don't it? But it's not bar. Okay, the bar ends here. This lump here is sole. And the only reason they get those lumps is either because they're either grown into the foot, they're coming out, or they're just not wearing off. This part of the foot in here does not wear off as much as the exterior. Okay, so my bar ends right here. And this is just hard, compressed sole that's come up in there. Try not to cut myself, crying out freaking loud. Getting that sole out of the seed of the corn. Okay. Good enough for now. Okay, stand up, horse. Help, help, help. Okay, so now I'm going to take the other bar out. Okay, now, what I showed you before about the laminar toe, how when the walls stretch forward, laminar serum comes out of the white line, attaches to the sole and to the wall. And the purpose of this is so, it's trying to hold the toe together, okay? So what I'm going to show you here is how okay, you saw me take that laminar material out and trim the wall down. But what happens is that most of the time this process, people don't know this is what's going on. And so I want you to look at the difference in the 2 feet here. Because one, okay, see now that's about the length of that foot in truth. Now look at the toe on that other foot. Here, we're gonna put this here, like so. Okay, now lift up. Now, see the toe on that foot? There? Okay, that's how the toe starts getting stretched out. Now I'm gonna show you the white line. And see, here, come here, give it here. Give it here. Okay, there you go. See, people think this is sole, but that is the laminar material. It hooks to the wall. Now I didn't trim it out like I did in the other foot. I just rasped this foot down. And so people start thinking this is sole. It's not sole. It was there to try and hold a stretch fork toe together. And the more the toe stretches, the more stuff it adds into the sole here. Look, it comes clear around in here. See? And pretty soon you just got this big long toe with a big sole wedge of this stuff in it, way out here. Okay? Okay, her toe should end about here.
You want some lights on?
Huh? No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
I'm just taking some pictures of this foot.
Oh, okay.
See how that toe comes out there?
Mm-hmm.
That is what that laminar stuff does to the toe. Okay. Okay, this is Toby that I've been doing, and about the 3rd or 4th time I'm doing it. And he is very toed out, and his feet were very uneven too, real jammed up on one side. I mean, when he walks, he lands inside to the outside, severely. Okay? So anyway, we've been thinking, you know, if we could straighten up his feet a little bit, that would help him for sure. But there's also something I want you to notice. Usually when you pick up a horse's leg and you pick it up and just let it hold it from the cannon bone, like this. Quit! Okay, see how I'm just letting the leg hand loop? Well, I don't know if I can. I don't know. Quit, Toby! See, just, you know, kind of quit! Butthole. Okay, okay, just letting it hang like so. Out and out this way. I mean, it will hang. Okay, I don't know if I can explain this, but when you pick his foot up, his leg points towards the other back leg. I don't know if I can explain. Okay, look at that. See how it's pointing that way? It should be clear out here like that. Okay? I'm pushing it really hard, but it hangs like that. That would be straight back towards his other leg. Back there. See? Most horses, you hold their leg loose like that, it's going to point pretty much, you know, that direction. But his, just loose, points clear over like so. I don't know if you can see it. So, and you see how he stands with his leg pointing out. You know, you're a pest. I know, you are. But, so he is truly towed out. I mean, his whole leg is twisted towards the outside, and so when you pick it up, to where, you know, the knee is bent, then it aims in the opposite direction, like that. To where a horse that isn't towed out, to where a horse is straight like this, you pick up their leg and bend it at the knee, and it just bends straight, kind of like that way. It might loosely go in a little bit that way, but his is really forced in that way when you pick up his leg. So, and realizing that, I mean, sometimes, yeah, their feet can be high on one side and messed up, that forcing their legs out, and you don't know either if, you know, this horse's feet went bad and then he grew up and it just forced his bones, the whole structure, to grow like this, or if he was born this way. I mean, the feet can affect the bones and everything else, you know, but one thing we know for sure now, his whole leg definitely points out. So all we can do is balance the foot as much as possible, and then, you know, this horse will adapt, and he toes out on both sides. His feet aim out on both sides. There, I'm going to pick up this leg and see what it does. Okay, give me your leg here, little man. Come on, pick it up. Oh, yep, see? See how it points in that way? Real severely when you hang it loose. A normal horse, okay, their leg will be kind of just loosely like this. So he's definitely got some structural problems going on here. He can do. He's so smart too. See how he points his feet out like that? That's just natural for him. That's the way his knees are, his bones are, whatever. It's almost like he's twisted this way from here up, not just at the knee. Aw, poor boy. Yeah. And he's such a smart, good horse. He really is. He is a very smart boy. Him need a job too, cause him just get in trouble all the time. But anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting and kind of. Okay, there you can really see how he points out each direction.